Let's have quorum and anybody else online? Alex?
So
Or
we just have Todd, we don't have Drew, and we have Lauren.
you have quorum. So I'll go ahead and formally call this meeting to order. Can I get a second? Thank you, John. So the previous meeting minutes. Anything that you want to review?
Just the actions I've provided, I have documentation ready. Spoke with Lauren about the test site for doing the digital displays. It's come back that we are going to make it as a big project, so I'll write up the recommended TV box that we're TVs in and installation. Once I get that done and get all the numbers, I'll have to get some quotes for putting electrical in some places that don't have electrical. Just get a bare idea of the costing. Bring it to you guys and you guys say it's worth going forward. And then we'll bring it forward and say, hey, we'd like one test site first. With the new technology and see if that's worth it. It is. We'll forward from there. See what the board says once we take all the numbers. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Is there anyone in the meeting that's online that's an owner? Nope. I saw someone else in the meeting, so is there?
Yeah, Todd, that's him.
Good with the email situation, that's all done.
That's with finance, I think, but I think it kind of went, yes.
So we'll go ahead and adopt this week's or this month's agenda.
Second. Fix the date down in October.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I can't fix that. I'll fix it afterwards.
And then certain ones that'll see it.
Yeah, I'll fix that. No one else caught it. Thank you.
I was just looking at the
Yeah, we're going back in time. All right, I leave it up to.
Perfect.
Are you able to share?
Yep.
The screen pop up so I can see it.
To share it on the other screen.
Oh.
There you are. Second. Out. That screen. There you go.
Good. Well, perfect. Well, I appreciate y'all's time today, this evening. If there's any veterans, thank you for your service. And just we'll do some quick introductions. My name is Todd Galley. I'm account executive with Xfinity. I've been with the company in a little over 10 years. Worked on the business side for about 8 of those years, and now I'm on the B2B side. Chris Harbin is my boss, also director of business development of entire Florida region. And then John Meyer is our technical person. He is our sales engineer. So technical questions, he can answer those as well. And with that, you want to run this since you've done 2 or 3 of these
A day.
a day?
So first, I definitely don't want to bore everybody with death by PowerPoint. But I think there's a few key areas that I definitely want to cover. I mean, everybody, I'm sure is somewhat familiar with Comcast / Xfinity and who we are. We're just a small company that's based out of Philly. Last time we checked, had 180,000 employees. We're one of the largest ISPs, if not the largest ISP in the entire country. And we are a global company. So it's not just internet. And a lot of people know us only as cable TV, which is has been going away slowly, over the years, but we've moved far from a cable company. We are a full ISP slash entertainment company. So, there's three things that we get asked all the time from committees just like yourself or boards and residents. Network, who, what, and why. How do you deliver the services? Entertainment. We spend a lot of time in our homes, and what is it that you're actually providing? And then obviously a service level. What type of service are you, once you do get installed, what can we expect? And then we'll have Q&A. Stop me at any point if you have any questions. Definitely want this conversational. That way it's.
You're actually my customer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a sales engineer with Apple and Carrington, so.
Oh.
Works with your.
There we go. So here's just a quick high level overview of our infrastructure. Extremely diverse network all across the country at any given point. I mean, if we have a failure, we auto reroute our network to anywhere else that we need. So even in natural disasters, as you all know, I'm not even going to say the H word, but there have been a few storms over the years. I'll talk a little bit about that, and what the response time is with the provider and who you're with. So here's our ecosystem. And one of the things that Xfinity and Comcast has been working on for many, many, many years is how do we aggregate this so that every customer gets and understands who Comcast is. So at any given point, as you all know, with some companies, they're only internet. They deliver internet. That's the only product that they have. Something happens, their sole income is based on that internet. With Comcast, you see multiple levels here. So if there's a dip in one part of the business, we have multiple other segments of the business that keep funding. So example, I'll go back to 2020 when COVID hit. Obviously the entertainment business shut down. And with that, our technology business obviously boomed at that point. Everybody went home, had to work from home. And we were able to scale our infrastructure. And when we saw that influx, we went from 33 million customers to 37, 38 million customers, literally overnight. Do you know what our network capacity was? What it went to just overnight? We never even hit 50% capacity. So that tells you about the power of our network, that literally overnight we were able to add that many millions of customers and we didn't even get to 50% utilization. So there's a delay there. There we go. So we are not we do have multiple layers within our network. So we do have our standard coax, hybrid fiber coax infrastructure that we do service about 30 million customers. But we also, that's all fiber fed all the way to the curb. We do the transaction between light to electricity going into the home right at the curb. Now, all of our new construction is direct fiber to the home. What we are doing with our existing infrastructure as well is we're upgrading that to what we call as full duplex or DOCSIS 4.0. It's I can let John talk to it a little bit more, but basically what that allows is it turns the full network into full IP and it allows symmetrical speeds. Our biggest hindrance over the HFC network is we could do 1 gig down, but our max that we could do on an upload is about 300. This actually levels that out where we can do multi-gig up and down. So as we're talking with your network here today, we have a blend of both infrastructures. What I'm going to be talking about today is actually taking that entire infrastructure, upgrading it to what we call as EPON, which is a direct fiber to the home transmission. And then we do the conversion to Ethernet in the home for the resident, condo, everyone. And all multi-gig, by the way. Any questions? So we talked about the network and storms that hit. We've had to rebuild the West Coast multiple times over the years. The last storm that hit last year, the year before.
last year. Only
Yeah. We had how many customers down that overnight? Close to 600,000
Yeah.
customers
that was a lot.
overnight. We had over 1,400 employees on standby, ready to be deployed that next morning. So we're able to pull resources from anywhere in the country that we need in order to get in and get customers repaired. By the end of that first day, we had more than half of those customers back up and online. Within 48 hours, we only had about 16,000 customers down. Within 3 days, we were down to less than 40,000. And the reason why we had 40,000 was, as you all know, Sanibel, a lot of those areas were devastated, right? So, you're with a company like Comcast, it doesn't matter if the storm's coming and hit the Panhandle, it doesn't matter if it's hitting Miami or if it's hitting Jacksonville. We can pull our own resources from wherever we go. We can reroute our traffic. We have our full stock of any equipment that we need, all the way to gasoline. So we don't even have to use the local gas that's around. Any questions?
The hurricane came through, what part of your infrastructure was taken? Or was interrupted?
The majority of it is power related. We lose power to our plant, which is why on that previous slide, we went past quick, you see generators. We have thousands and thousands of generators on standby for those storms. We can get them out there, deploy, fuel them 24 hours a day until power comes back up.
And do, like when they get the.
Any of the power companies, yeah.
We literally are following them.
Yep.
So as they are lighting up, we are repairing our lines. If the lines were, what we actually found after, especially the last couple of hurricanes that hit, we were repairing the lines faster than anybody else. People were coming in behind us, cutting our line. So we had to come back and repair it a second time, because we were going so fast to get the customers up and operational. All of our head ends, we do have battery backups, we do have generators. But again, we have some buildings actually got flooded, right? So we would have to reroute traffic accordingly. And then again, we would actually put people 24/7 at some of our stations to connect it with generator power to make sure they were up and operational. So literally as customers, you get power to your unit because it's all light coming into, there's very few electrical units. The only reason why you're down is because you didn't have power. So one person might have had a generator, their internet was working, but the neighbor wasn't because they didn't have power. So when we talk about entertainment, one thing was, anybody here have Comcast at home? Xfinity? X1?
Yeah, not here though.
Not here? So you're familiar with like how we integrate all the different streaming apps into one video library. We've put a lot of technology into this, where just like you have Apple TV, you have a Roku stick or whatever, you can do away with all of that. Everything can integrate directly into your X1 voice remote that we brand, that we created. We don't outsource any of our equipment. It's all Comcast developed and owned equipment. So literally all of your streaming applications are into your video library. Last time I checked, I've got 2 teenage boys. I think we've got every streaming.
430 some apps in total
Yeah.
in the box. And that voice search searches all of them at the same time.
All you literally have to do is speak into the voice remote, say Tom Cruise movies. It'll pull up every Tom Cruise movie that's available. And if you don't have an app, it'll pull up that movie. You can click on it and then they give you the option to either subscribe or you could rent it or whatever. But again, we want to integrate and give you one entertainment experience. Who wants to sit there and hit input multiple times? Who wants to swap out and put cables? Another neat feature that we just added this year is our fan view. So you can literally, during sports games, open up multiple games and they pop up on your screen where you can literally watch multiple games at the same time and still have all of your stats of all the games that are going on the right-hand side as they're fun.
And you customize which games are on there, what's live, select which one you want the sound to be.
Another cool feature with the X1 is all 4K, depending on the broadcast, obviously, but the box, it all supports 4K. But the X1 actually learns, the AI that's built into it actually learns your voice. So if you and your partner, significant other, as you're watching and you speak into it, it'll actually recommend based on your voice. and what your watching habits are. So. Any questions?
Also multilingual.
I was thinking my parents, I have an on the street, but they're on the spectrum, so it's not even available. So, yeah, just looking at here in celebration, how's the lines drawn between you guys?
Great question. I have a slide I'll cover that because we do have an existing agreement, which I'll talk to that a little bit. Because we should be covering, everything in celebration. Here's just another snapshot. Again, we're just a little tiny company. But we have, a lot of, have 190,000, almost 190,000 employees, 121 billion in annual revenues. The Comcast business side of it, I saw here in Celebration, this mixed use, you have a lot of businesses, you have a lot of, Comcast can help support everything in the community. So here's our current infrastructure and what it looks like, through phase one. So as you can see, this is all direct fiber, to the home. Talking about in certain areas, I think there's been somewhere there's been a drop in communication between Comcast and the builder. So I would definitely like to get that contact information if I could. Because in the existing agreement that we have, we should be covering 100% of Celebration's footprint. So we definitely would like, obviously, to.
It's a part of, off the map.
Left the map.
It's off the map.
It's
Yeah.
off the map.
I can get you the builder contact information.
Great, thank you.
I know this map shows Celebration, but it's not really all of it.
Right.
There is a further.
And you can see,
Line.
Yep.
I do see that.
Blue line would be our fiber.
yep. So I mean, we can zoom out of this and redo this photo. Because I mean, we do have our infrastructure everywhere around this area.
So this map you're showing, you're saying that this is your infrastructure.
Yes.
So I know a lot of us have smart cities. Is it shared infrastructure or is it you're subleasing it out to them or?
Nope. So I don't know how, smart cities coming through here. I know we're following the public easements. When I looked at the existing agreement that we have, it's just an access agreement to allow us to build out to all the residents. So we follow the easements and then we enter into the buildings, based on the scope of work that was reviewed many, many, many years ago.
So it used to be it was coax, Comcast had coax.
Some of it, yes.
So do you just, is it race-wise, did you just pull fiber through the same? And no.
So some areas still do have coax in Celebration.
Yeah.
Part of the agreement we're looking at would upgrade all that as well.
Yep. Like this right here is what we call RFOG, is radio frequency over glass. So you have fiber. So all I need to do is upgrade some head-end equipment and then that will give you symmetrical speed. So construction's not needed at all in these areas. This is simply us just swapping out some head-end equipment in the big boxes that are hidden throughout the property.
Not very well. But
Still gotta be able to work.
yeah,
Unfortunately.
very true. Very true.
This is the fiber network we're looking at here?
Yes.
You see it gets more dense, that's to the homes itself, because the fiber actually goes all the way in.
Is it possible to have multiple providers in the same area with?
Absolutely.
Okay, so someone else could have an infrastructure in
Absolutely.
place as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a right to build state, so anybody can build, with at least an access agreement. Anywhere in the state of Florida. It's just a matter if they want to build to it or not. And if the HOA, if it's a private community, there has to be an access agreement that's signed.
So what's phase one and phase two? I see you have phase one scheduled for, so you're gonna upgrade. I forgot what EPON.
Yes. So in phase one, I mean, that's, to my understanding, phase one has been completed here in Celebration. So I have it slated for 2027, depending on what we do with an agreement here, not necessarily today, but in the near future, that date could change to be sooner. But what we will actually do is go in and upgrade, again, everything to a full EPON, full symmetrical. We will need to swap out modems in the homes, but I can talk about that. We'll have a dedicated team that,
There's that northern part.
see, this is the HFC network. They're talking about the coax, but then you can see. Because what happened is quite a few years ago, we went from building out new construction with our hybrid fiber network, and we moved directly to fiber on all of our new builds.
And that upgrade will offer the multi-gig symmetrical.
Channel Village already done.
From what they're saying, yeah. And I don't know if phase two A and B are that way as well. I'm not sure. Lauren, would you know?
My guess is, and this is an educated guess, it's the 4 phases of Island Village. I think phase 1 is the original build out of Celebration, and 2 and 3 are the phasing out of Island Village.
Because in the original agreement, I think we had close to 4,000 units,
37, yeah.
3,700.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the original count of main Celebration. So your standard villages plus Spring Lake, and then the remainder of it would be Island Village adding on.
Is the island, are all of those part of the original Celebration build, or is there more than 3,700 units? The
There's
community,
more than 3,700 units now. You're at 45 and change right now. You're going to end up close to 5,000.
it's fine, okay. So that's one thing we could talk about if we want to incorporate those additional phases or areas. You know, we obviously been willing to do that. Any other questions on the network?
One choice.
So to be honest, the construction piece to the areas that we're not currently in are not that difficult. Again, we'll have obviously full easements and what's been recorded. The equipment that we would use, so we wouldn't turn this place into a construction zone. We do all underground boring, so we basically go, we'll open up a little small patch of grass, so about that big around, shoot a missile bore down. And it goes down about 150 feet, pops up, we put an underground bolt, pull fiber through, go down again. That's how we just move down the road. So we would work with whoever you would designate with us, and then we would go by sections of the community when you want us to do that, during what time of days. But that missile bore actually shoots down the conduit, everything.
This is in places that we don't already have. But you showed us a map where you have it.
This would be places that we're not currently in, that we would have to do a little bit of construction in order to build out the infrastructure to get into the home.
Or the HFC areas.
So
Yep.
5,000, Lauren just said.
Hmm.
How many of the 5,000 are you already have? I don't mean service to, but if a homeowner wanted to connect, you would actually have fiber there now.
So right now we're servicing 700 customers. I'd have to get back to you on the amount of units or the residents and areas. I don't know what that total unit count looks like. Because as we were going through, I wasn't 100% on how many phases you all have completed. So that's what I need to kind of understand.
This map. Fiber's already everywhere this map shows it to be.
We can service everywhere on that
Right.
map. Plus
So if any-
a little bit, because the HFC is not on that.
So like, I'm looking at East Village, and you guys probably don't know the nomenclature, but it's surrounded by your fiber.
Mhm.
Right?
Yep.
So it means anybody that's in that area, like there's a lot of townhomes.
Mhm.
They could connect
Yes.
today.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Do they know it exists?
Yeah.
No. Well, I came out of there. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, I don't,
Just curious. It's interesting. Okay.
which that's another point that I'd definitely like to talk about is, you know, I would like to have a dedicated person here for this property. So that there is somebody that, you know, if there's questions from a resident or, you know, they could go to a direct Comcast representative and they could help them get set up with services and
Lauren, are we allowed to tell the residents which services to go for?
No, we are not. We can say we have a bulk discount agreement if we do have one with a provider, or we can say we have an exclusive bargaining or advertising agreement if we had one with a provider, but no, we can't direct them to utilize a provider. That's against Florida statutes.
Or we can probably just point it out, put it up saying these are your providers
that's it.
in the area.
Yep.
You have Smart City and.
Yep.
Xfinity. Comcast. Is it Comcast Xfinity or Xfinity Comcast?
Comcast is our corporate.
Okay.
That is like the main company. Xfinity is a subsidiary under.
So that's the service.
So that would be residential homes. So
Yeah.
like the businesses will be Comcast business.
Okay.
Yep.
All the same company.
Good questions.
That's something I don't think we do today. Saying what's available. I think it's just innate that. Smart cities in the area, smart cities everywhere, see, advertise. Your neighbors know.
I
Smart
always
city.
thought that it was because Disney had such a heavy hand in this and Smart Cities kind of has an exclusive contract with Disney that it was just, and it's just kind of
Residents just say, oh, well, that's.
path of least resistance and to Xfinity kind of rolling out. I think people were like, I can have fiber or I can have coaxial cable, and no one's gonna choose coaxial cable if they have fiber as.
Which isn't, I mean, there's only actually a small portion that actually has coax.
Yeah.
Majority of the
At
network
least-
that is built here is
Yeah.
fiber to the
At
home.
least 90%
So,
of it's fiber current.
yeah. This is just kind of a brief setup of what the in-home would look like, or it does look like. And then with the new agreement, every home moving forward would look like this. So you can see the fiber drop, that's the yellow line, it goes into a ONU, optical network unit. It's about that big. That goes into, you probably have them currently in your homes, but they go into your utility room or whatever and media panel. And then from there, it converts it to Ethernet and then goes into the modem, and then you have your Wi-Fi, and then you have direct port connectivity.
Now, would residents also get from fiber to fiber? If they have device that already has fiber.
No, it would have to convert it to ONU,
It has to.
Yeah.
Okay.
but they could hardwire Ethernet or go wireless from there.
Does that fiber?
You're looking at the people
So,
that might
yeah,
have.
we have fiber line that comes in the wall and fiber runs up into the attic and drops into my media panel. That's where.
We
We would do
that.
the same thing.
So that ONU could be located in that media panel.
Yes.
So we'd bring fiber right into there.
I was thinking you were actually running fiber like to your laptops.
No, just fiber to
Way
the
advanced.
router.
Yes, that we do.
Yeah, okay.
So that ONU would be sitting next to that
B plus.
gateway.
But yeah,
in the
no,
media panel.
but yeah, I mean, again, we would work with you, and the residents, because obviously every home is a little bit different. So, if we came to terms and agreed, hey, this is what we want to do moving forward, then we would break this down by sections. Because every section, I mean, I can see a lot of different homes and home types. So we'd break it down into sections, and then from there, we would take it, what we call as friendlies, handful of those residents that allow us to go in. We'd have dedicated technicians so they'd get to know the entire community. And so we would be aware and understand how we need to set up so we can go in and out and get these installs done for residents.
Because we can do that upgrade to EPON without interrupting the current services and just convert one customer at a time as we go into their home.
Yep.
We do have in the future, that you were asking, fiber directly into the modem. That is coming.
Okay.
We're developing that current modem now.
This is gonna be fiber into the closet, right? Into the person's closet.
Correct.
Now, will you also have the capability of fiber to the curb? You already have coax and we have no way to get to the person's closet. So we have a lot of places, condos, townhomes, where they already have coax, they don't have fiber. And this would be a business opportunity for you because fiber companies don't want to go in and drill holes through firewalls,
Nope.
things like that. You already have a cable there.
Yep. So
So you could bring fiber to a converter and then,
that's correct.
and have bi-directional up and down speeds that be equivalent to fiber right on that coax.
That's correct.
So is that an option?
That is an option. So if I can't do construction and there's a coax, instead of doing a fiber to the unit build there, I could just do a DOCSIS 4.0 upgrade. So that means I'd swap out modems and give them full symmetrical multi-gig speeds without having to do
Is that
construction.
available today?
Yes,
So a customer can call you up and
I
say,
have to upgrade the network first.
It is available in Florida,
Yes,
okay,
not on this property yet.
okay.
it's slated for 2027, but depending on how we do with a new agreement, I could potentially move that up to next year.
I can guarantee you that no one knows this. And maybe these guys, know, but we certainly don't.
I only found out when he sent this in. So I didn't know.
And there's places that this could be a solution to a problem that we hear about all the time.
Mhm.
If they coax is slow, as you said, it's not bi-directional. But it needs some sort of an agreement from somebody different than us.
Yeah,
Yeah, our goal tonight is to see the two offers that they have. And figure out which is best for the community.
Well, let's get on to the two, because I'm not sure exactly, you just said something that I'm curious about is what is it that we're trying to do?
sure. One last piece, and I'll get into the two options that we do have. Again, we're not just an internet provider, we are a smart community provider as well. So when you talk about smart buildings, you talk about we can bring common area Wi-Fi access. So as I was walking through the community, something that if you wanted to provide to your residents. So if they leave their home, they have internet, Comcast internet, they would automatically hit a Wi-Fi hotspot and they would always have connectivity throughout the community. Those are some smart technologies that we can do. We can do EV charging, open platform. We can do security cameras. So we can actually change out light posts that are out. We'll replace those, put in smart lighting. We can put common area hotspots there, and we can do security cameras as well. A lot of large communities like this, they're moving into a little bit more of a secured environment for the residents. We can do all of this and break it down into two different ways, via CapEx, or if we look at a bulk agreement, I can actually bring it into the bulk monthly rate per unit. So example, if we're doing a 1 gig to every home for say $30, depending on the amount of Wi-Fi, let's say it costs $500,000 or $1 million, instead of saying, hey, I need Celebration to give Comcast $1 million to build this out, I can then go to that rate and say, hey, I tell you what, instead of doing the gig at 30, I can do it at $34, right? And I can amortize it over. You own the equipment, but I can amortize it over the bulk agreement. So we can get very creative and how we develop these solutions.
Is that a for example number you're just giving us there?
That was for example.
Yes.
That was a,
Okay, Tom was gonna raise his hand and say, I'll take it.
yeah. But I mean, I'm in the middle of doing a very large, it's a 5,000 unit master development up in North Florida that has a 7.5 mile walking trail all through their whole garden area. And through that, I've actually building and developing a whole Wi-Fi network that's hidden within the garden and the forest. So that when residents walk out and they're on that trail, that 7.5 mile trail, they're still connected to the internet. I don't have to get in necessarily to the mobile piece, but again, I mean, these are just a lot of added benefits that Comcast offers. So if you are an internet customer, we can actually provide mobile as well. That's a fraction of what an AT&T or Verizon cost is. As you can see here, $30 a month, unlimited line. So the two options, we could look at just doing renewing the access agreement that we have. I would pay a small incentive to just renew that access agreement. Within that access agreement, I would say, okay, look, we're gonna come in, we're gonna upgrade the existing infrastructure to either an EPON. So we'll replace the RFOG, the radio frequency over glass, not replace, upgrade the RFOG to an EPON. So I'll just swap out head-end equipment and modems. The HFC network, I'll upgrade that to FDX. And then all new builds will be a direct EPON fiber connection into the home. That's option number one. And that's just an access agreement. And then we can talk about marketing rights. I can do exclusive marketing. That's not exclusive access to the property. It's just marketing, exclusive marketing rights. I could do non-exclusive marketing rights, which means you can have multiple providers of marketing. And if need be, depending on if you have any other agreements, I could do just an access agreement, which means I can't do any marketing, other than just what I do, media. So that's option number one. Access agreement, I can give a small incentive. We call it door fee on a per unit basis. Everything I've talked about, I can commit to, put that into an agreement. The second option that we could look at is a bulk agreement. Everything that I just talked about would stay in place as well, doing all the exact same thing. But instead of retail, which means all the residents come to Comcast or Xfinity direct for their services and pay a retail rate, I would provide it at a bulk rate. So I could say I could commit to every single resident in this community. It would be $30 for a 1 gig symmetrical for the entire community over the term of the agreement. That includes the modem. So instead of that resident spending $80 to $100, $120 for internet, I would bill the association $30 for that internet.
Now the billing, as you talked earlier, that, so the billing goes, you just said that you zero it out from the resident.
Yep.
And then we bill them back
Through your assessment.
for our assessment.
Yep. All of other services for Comcast would still be available. They would still have the option if they wanted to, go to another provider that's on the property, they could still do that. Again, it's not taking exclusivity rights, although it is giving, the board is committing to saying every active resident that's here or built home, they commit to the $30 gig per unit.
And say, for instance, we do this contract and 50% of the people switch.
Everybody would have to switch. Like
Everybody.
it's a bulk agreement, so there's a commitment that 100% of the community would then move over to the bulk billing rate.
So they would get charged by us no matter what.
Exactly.
Got it.
They don't have to switch, but they're gonna get charged.
Yep.
So Sun's House and Champions Gate, they have Xfinity's card there.
Yep.
Okay.
That they pay, so he has. Xfinity.
But if they choose not to have it, they're just still paying for it.
Right, if he wants to put a cellular 5G thing, and that's on his own, he's still paying, so that he's getting Xfinity.
Or if he wanted to keep Smart City.
You could still do that.
Sure.
Redundancy.
If you got a home lab, yeah.
So they can write it off one for work and the other one.
Sure.
Looking for an excuse to set up that multi-WAN Wi-Fi.
There you go.
I mean, some other things that I didn't go into too much on either agreement, I'll have a dedicated community account representative for the property. So you will have a one point of contact. After the agreement's signed, moving forward, that one point of contact will help through construction, with updates, working with your team through the installation of the phases. Any modem swaps that we need to do, there'll be a liaison and overseeing the project, and then moving forward
And the service
for the years to come. Sorry?
service SLAs? What would they be?
So I would say if if there is more than 20% of the community that's out, this is on a bulk. But if more than 20% or more of the property, then I would do a pro rata credit based on that outage.
And response times, is it just basic for as standard services that you provide or the bulk services you see different type of facilities?
No, you would have a commitment that we would be out and working and repairing if there's power.
If there's power,
We'll
yes.
install generator.
Which Celebration's nice because we're on Disney's grid and we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So am I. I live on the other side and I still get this grid.
Parents like. Tree goes down.
That's it. Any other questions? Lauren, do you have any questions?
No.
Yeah, go ahead. So my question. This is probably not the common person. It's more of a super user. What is the upper threshold of the services that you provide? So we talked about having a 1 gig service, but we also did mention T gig up and down, so.
So today we can offer 2 gig.
Yeah.
And that is the EPON or FDX is rated out to 10 gig, already lab tested and works. So we will continue to expand those speeds as time goes on. But today we can go out to 2 gig.
if we-
Technically 2.1.
And I'm assuming that would fall under our bulk rate as well, or would that fall
Yeah,
out
like
of?
we did the bulk rate with that. Cause there's probably a subset of people that were like, hey, if I could get a 2.2 gig connection. That would be great, but.
Sure.
If we get the whole community on, does that?
Nope.
An SOL or?
Nope, nope, not at all. And that's a good question. So when you become a bulk customer, that also gives you discounts on our services as well. So we would do it's actually not 1 gig, it'd be 1.1 gig to every single home. If you wanted to go to the 2.1 gig, it would be $20. So we would just bill you direct.
$10 per tier.
Per tier
Yep.
change.
So depending on the network, I believe EPON actually goes 1 gig straight to 2.
Okay, so then it'll be $10. So
So it
that's
just
what-
depends on the current tiers.
and that would bill directly to the resident, not the HOA.
They can always upgrade to whatever's offered on the retail side.
And our TV packages, they start anywhere from $50 and. they go up
The
to over-
option 1, where it's not a bulk agreement, you said that that's where. Retail rates. What is the retail rate for? 1.1 and 2.1?
If you were to do, yeah, if you were to do just a straight 1.1, I think the going rate right now, I know we just had a 5-year price lock that just ended October 1st, which we run these quite often. It was $65, 5 years, no contract,
Plus equipment.
plus
Right.
equipment.
Plus equipment. It's 24, so you can, their taxes on it's going to 100.
That was a fixed rate for 5 years.
So the ONT is it's a leased, the subscriber pays for the rental of the fiber termination box. The ONT is called.
Knowing you, no, that only the modem itself. Anybody, you could go to Best Buy if you have your own modem. I
Okay,
mean, you could have your own equipment if you wanted, but in the bulk, I have that included in that $30 rate that I gave you. That's included.
but in the non-bulk, you end at the ONT and then they provide a modem.
We do.
I do.
Yeah, A router modem.
You,
Yeah,
around,
correct.
well, but that's optional.
Well, no, so, we showed that picture earlier, the ONU, where it converts from fiber to ethernet. We provide that,
Yeah,
and then the gateway or router, depending on what type of unit we put in there. That gets either charged or in the bulk rate is included with that 5-year price lock, it was included. So it depends on the deal
I see.
that there is. So the little black box there, the EPON ONU, that's always included no matter what. And then the XCR10 is our new router for EPON. So that would be, like I said, either charged depending on what the rate is. What the current deals are.
but for people like Brett, who does his own routing, he can still use his own router.
Correct.
No
Yep.
double nanny, he just connects to your modem.
Yep.
Correct.
And what was the rate for the 2.1?
The rate we had previously for the 5-year price lock was 115, including the gateway. And then the everyday price was 130. The 5-year guarantee.
That was on the two.
That was on 2.
Two.
Yeah, then that price includes the gateway. So it just depends on the deal we're currently offering. And obviously we can only speak to those that are, like,
Mhm.
we don't know what's coming. But all of our gateways and our routers, we develop and build those ourselves. So those are all our own, equipment. So if there's ever an issue with it, we're able to troubleshoot it, fix it ourselves, not for another company to make repairs. We take great pride in those. Same thing with the TV boxes.
Yeah, we're a true tier 1 provider. So we own from end to end, all the way even to the direct peering points when you talk about like to Netflix and. Questions?
We were hoping for others to be here to have those other questions,
Sure.
but we'll take what we've gotten today. Obviously, we verbally have what you guarantee us if we were to do bulk. Discuss that with our board liaison. Get that in front of the board to talk to them. And then I'm assuming they'll probably come back if that's created.
This is kind of more of a custom kind of pet project. I think we've had discussions before on establishing like a private network that serves just the core infrastructure of the community, so that we can connect our facilities, and that's running kind of on its own dedicated sort of network. I mean, I'm sure there's segmentation going on at your level, so maybe it doesn't really matter, but
So let me ask you, because something I could add into this updated agreement on either option. I could build a dark fiber ring for you throughout the community. So I have a lot of large communities that, have cameras and they have infrastructure and network built out. So if you're talking about needing a network like that, I mean, I could absolutely add that into this agreement.
that would be just an option. And just some people. Measures and stuff like that, so.
And we do have 11, well. And it's the town hall. Dark fiber.
Yeah. So how does that work? When you own the fiber, or you just build it for us and it's ours? What happens?
Those years. So just as I'm doing my network upgrades, I'll pull the dark fiber strand. I will have to, I don't know what the infrastructure looks like, so I'm gonna have to get with construction on what we've already built out. But I mean, based on, or depending on which option you all looking at. I mean, I just need to have a conversation with my construction team and maybe do a quick survey, but we do it all the time. And the last project that I just did, we did 9.5 miles of dark fiber. Literally just gonna hand you the dark fiber and you tell me every point that you need, and as long as it's within splicing point network, I can hand you that dark fiber connection.
Best thing you said, so.
I thought $30 is pretty good.
$34. Second best thing.
I mean, if you do want to go a bulk option, from a door fee incentive, I'll do $300 a door. So are interested in bulk.
We're the wrong guys.
Yeah, like.
No, I mean, like I said, this is, if you guys are interested, if we're interested, but if it's definitely for the
You
community,
could share the number.
yeah, we'll share this number.
There's incentives.
I mean, everything that we're saying here is recorded, so I'll pull out the numbers and put out the information and say, hey, this is what we got. What do you guys want to come back and have?
Yeah, I think we need to talk to Bill, because Bill had some concerns and,
And he had already some more information before we did, so
yeah, so, and
that might help.
I gotta gauge.
He might have questions that the board already,
Yeah.
or rather than give it to him, but he had prior engagement. The Mrs. trumps us all.
I'm happy to make a trip back up here. Um, just let me know if you have any other questions. I mean, I can make myself available via the phone call. I would still, if possible, Lauren, get your contact information from the construction team, just so I can get that to my, that way, I mean, we can at least, hold up our end of the existing agreement and continue building out to the other phases that are here, because we still have a
Certainly.
couple of years left. So,
Yep, I will make sure I connect you with them tomorrow morning.
great. Thank you so much, Lauren.
And Lauren, thank you for including us.
Of course.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
You guys,
Thank you.
I'll leave you, there's an extra one there.
I mean, I guess it's if the board says they want. I'm not sure. Lauren, you have any?
I mean, it could be that it's too,
Are you asking about next steps? I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing.
Yeah, next steps, they were asking, would CCDD need to get involved?
So right now, no, CDD wouldn't need to get involved if we were just doing homeowners and the businesses, because there's already an agreement between CROA and Comcast for their running cables from about, I want to say 6 to 8 years ago, back when Eric was president previously. I know Eric has expressed concerns because he felt Comcast didn't uphold their parts of the agreement. And I think those are the concerns that Bill had maybe expressed to you. But what we wanted to do was bring this to the technology committee to see if there was anything that maybe you thought we could leverage in terms of things like the connecting the amenity centers and getting additional bulk agreements for the residents, providing community available Wi-Fi, and then potentially take this to the finance committee to see if they thought it was a good idea from a financial perspective, and then kick this up to the board. I mean, Comcast Xfinity was what they were 6, 8 years ago. They're probably a different company now. There's different levers we can pull from a contractual perspective to hold them accountable. So we just wanted to see if this was even something that the tech committee was even interested in before we pursued any additional conversations.
Questions I did ask, but I didn't ask again because I already had answered. Type function, I should have asked again while you guys were here. So I did ask them, is there any cost to the resident for all this work that they're doing? I said, there is none. This is all going to be paid for by Xfinity Comcast.
Well,
But the dues will go up. That's it.
yeah,
Well, not really the dues, you're losing.
$5, $30, $40, $50.
yeah. that's-
Yeah, 'cause they're not paying the $80 a month
No.
that they're paying for Smart City or whoever they may have. So they cancel that service if they can. Some of them have those.
Plus,
one-
some $10 a month for Paramount and stuff.
Yeah.
That you pay for that.
there's potentially some benefits with just. Is it free or is it just to have access to it? It's built into the app? I don't think it's free.
I think you'd have to have a good presentation, really broken down to show the residents.
I think the way I interpreted they're selling the apps was that it's just, you only go to one place. You don't have your road.
Well, he said there was a couple tiers of what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basic cable, even when you're off the cut the line like I am, you don't get basic cable, right? I don't get ABC, CBS, something like that. I have to do different ways to get that. So, but that, my son has that with his Xfinity and James. He gets all the basic local channels. A lot of people do like.
I usually get that too because local news.
Yeah.
But now everything is
You
streaming.
got kind of two different ways to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it from Paramount.
Yeah.
I get it from Amazon and oh, Hulu gives you Fox.
Right, because the Comcast complaints of the old days was that we had it in California, my parents. Like $2.50 a month for the game box,
Yeah.
right? And that's when we started getting away from so.
Hmm.
I think when you're paying retail, it's like, what are you getting for the bang for the buck? When you're getting the bulk, it seems like whoever's getting that, like if you were living in an apartment complex, you were getting a fairly good deal now. I don't know if they kind of pared down the services that you had, so instead of having access to all 200 cable channels, you only got the standard 60, you know?
I think that part, he said that's separated. That's the retail side of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
He's,
what I was
yeah,
thinking.
he's contracting out only the internet portion. Whatever part of the retail services you want will, be there and they'll help give you a discount.
Yeah.
Because
so
you're part
here
of the bulk.
it's an ISP.
Yeah, just internet
But if you
services
get a
only.
gig for 30, I'm like I said, Smart City, I think I'm paying $60 a gig. And my son complains about lagging.
So what I would, sorry to interrupt, I would suggest if you guys have any questions that you want as follow-ups to these gentlemen, if you want to provide them to us, we'll shoot them over to them and get their answers back to you. I think the biggest thing is to consider is the potential upgrades to the network and how to tie that into a contract. And two, either the bulk or the exclusive bargaining agreement or the bulk services agreement. The exclusive bargaining agreement, from my understanding, doesn't cost the association anything. It just says we will only promote Xfinity Comcast, but residents can do what they want. The bulk services agreement does cost residents, whatever it is, $30 a door. But they can opt out. Well, they can opt to go somewhere else, but they're still paying that $30.
Yeah, I mean, there's the community park Wi-Fi's, that could be kind of an interesting thing.
Exactly.
Something.
Well, we need to know more about what that is.
Yeah, yeah,
In the past, they talked about,
yeah.
what they referred to as community Wi-Fi really means they're borrowing other people's access points. So they had a separate SSID running on your access point.
You're right, if it's stealing my internet.
So, yeah, so as you moved along, you connected to somebody else's.
Yeah.
And then they call that community Wi-Fi. I didn't really want to go into that with these guys.
Yeah.
To know exactly how
How it's being
are
done.
they doing that?
I mean, we can ask all those deeper questions if we're
Yeah,
kind of interested in it.
if it gets past
Yeah.
the
next level.
financial, there's a financial aspect to this that exceeds anything that we can.
Yeah, I mean, we're not part of the finance. I mean,
No.
but $300 a door.
Yeah,
It's like, whoa, that's good money, 300 times 5,000.
I just want to answer. So
Hmm?
if somebody on the board says, well, they're charging us 30 per door. And then, so well, we could charge everybody 65 and match and put that money into our budget. Is that something that's feasible they can do? Is that something you guys might ask to do, or that you would always be? The
That
cost, whatever they charge us and whatever Comcast charges, that's what the price would be to the resident.
Lauren, that's,
I don't want to speak for the board, but I would guess that the board wouldn't want to upcharge on this. But again, that's a board and finance committee decision. I mean, this is an agreement
Oh.
between Celebration and Comcast, and management's just bringing Comcast to the table because they asked to have a conversation. So I wouldn't really.
If we were sold it to the residents, hey, for half the price you're paying now, you get the exact same speeds and good and the same service. Then all of a sudden, 2 years later, it's up to, your fees go up because somebody jacked it up to $70 and now you're spending 70 because somebody wants to make money off of it. And
Mhm.
then it all doesn't, it turns into a bad deal, not a good deal.
Of course, they could always go back to Smart City.
I know, but you're paying that.
but if you're paying the bulk.
Yeah, they're paying the 70
If
bucks.
You're paying $70 now.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, I get that. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, I
You're
mean,
right.
that'll be all written in contract hopefully, and we won't see that.
Right, 'cause somebody always can see something, we're paying $30, but everyone's charging 70 for their internet, let's charge the same thing, to make money off of it, and it's just.
Celebration revenue stream.
Right, it's.
I mean, it is a great revenue stream, but do you want to do that?
Nobody, I was talking.
I don't
about it.
think your boards are inclined to see this as a revenue stream for the association.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree. Just,
Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's interest. I think it's worth exploring more.
Yeah. Cool. I know we are over by 5 minutes already, and I do have my other boss who's already yelled at me to have dinner cooking. So do we want to just quickly go through these or we just hold off until next month, next meeting?
We can just go through real quick.
are there any updates or just the same?
So the digital signage, I talked about it earlier.
Well, you only talk, I'm assuming you only talked about the part that I gave to Lauren.
No, that was yeah, so that's the one part. The other part is for all the amenities.
Yeah,
That one I have to create, instead of doing a demo at one location, we're gonna price out the whole thing first. Let the board look at it, and then if they say go ahead and do a demo, then we'll take a portion of that.
okay.
And
but-
then make do that demo.
I thought, my understanding is you asked us for recommendations,
Mhm.
or let's call it hardware recommendations, okay? And I don't know if anybody gave that to you, but I did.
Yeah.
No, different than the one in front of the town hall.
Right, yeah, the ones you recommended the one that
Okay,
you're
all right.
using in Artisan as an example. to
Well, it
use.
was an example, but then I went and looked up, true outdoor units, the ones in Artisan are not outdoor.
Right.
These are real IP56 outdoor displays
Mhm.
made to go outside in driving rain.
Yeah.
And I put them in, just to make this shorter, I put them in our Teams folder
Okay,
under digital signage.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course you can have, there's more options than Samsung.
oh, yeah,
Samsung's not the only people on earth that make great displays, but they make some really good ones. And so these were 3,500 nit displays. That's the number you said you used in the phones.
Yes.
Nits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3,500 nits.
Yeah.
And they're designed to do this. I put them in the Teams folder.
Mhm.
I say, take that to Lauren or wherever you need to go. Yeah, they range in price from like, they're expensive, but it was like 4,000 to 5,000 bucks.
Yeah.
Depending on the size of the screen. I gave you two options of 46, because you said you liked the one at Artisan Park, something like that, something a little bit bigger, you're looking at 5,000 bucks. My suggestion is you guys take a look at it, see if you like it. If you do, we buy one, we put it up. It's a $5,000 experiment, if you will. I think we would like it. It'll look good. And then we can make a educated decision. Do we want to buy more of these? Put one, say, down at Lakeside.
yeah, and that's the reason for because of the costing. Lauren has advised that I should have the bigger picture put out, saying what the whole purpose is for, and then have a low quality, medium quality, and then,
Okay.
all the different qualities, so that we give them the biggest picture possible, plus the recommendations, and say, here you go, guys, this is what we want to do. East Village or wherever, North Village, wherever we want to put a demo to test it out to see what's better. And we can use that to also replace Lakeside's.
Or you can put
TV.
it right here. There's a perfect place right here.
Oh, yeah, Island Village as well. Yeah.
All I'm saying is I feel like we're done. We've done what we
Mhm.
were asked to do. We gave you some recommendations. You can get additional or come up with your own, whatever, but
I mean, they were great choices, so
I don't-
I was liking them.
I don't.
I wish I could
don't want to
bring
do
one
any more
home.
work. This is a relatively unexciting area, technology area, so in my mind, we're done with it.
Okay.
You have it, you guys can look at some Teams folder.
All right. The security cameras,
We have to defer this because
I want to just get an update on it. We had a conversation with Bill, and then there was some stuff that Bill did a workshop, so I need to get back with him as to what came out of that, and gave him a recommendation, so.
Oh, did he? Okay,
Well, I gave him the recommendation.
Yeah.
That we,
yeah,
when we got together, I shared that with him, and so
Okay.
he took it, and I just don't know what came out.
I don't know what it is either. So
I don't know.
you want to defer the dog park discussion then until we find out where.
Oh,
where
the
board-
camera
Yeah.
option then.
Where,
Okay.
where Bill stands on it or where the board stands on it.
I mean, no,
I got your email this afternoon with all the board things. I
Yeah.
was gonna. send
those are
out-
readily available
Yeah.
all the time, so you
Yeah.
just have
Yeah.
to just look
So
at it.
I'm gonna send out a message to them, and I had talking to Andrew before about space. So I need to reach out to him again and what he wants to potentially try to do there, but.
Okay.
Alright. I should have a.
And the last thing real quick, I asked the last time about either an email or something and Monday or the Friday, like on top.
Yes, they've talked about it, so they've come up with like, 3 types of recommendation, though they are gonna get it up on the long.
Most people still don't know, and I tell them, they're like, I didn't know about this, I'm
Yeah.
buried deep in the email, you know.
We're looking to put A-frames out there, at each amenity. And one directly out, because they have it posted inside resident services, but obviously you have to go to resident services to see that. We're looking to update the digital display in front of Lakeside, but again, it's only one place. But they're looking to put, A-frames out there and do an e-blast and also up it on the, sorry, Friday
Right, 'cause
flash.
the last 2 years, everybody's done a lot of hard work, including you guys, and the residents that I've got to sign up are thrilled, and they're like, they love it.
Yep. Yeah, I had somebody ask me a question today, can I put it on 2 phones? Wall Street, for both phones?
And it's okay with it, I was a little pushed back on the clock, but people I spoke to, they're happy to spend $50.
They had a European phone and a US phone. So I was like, can I have it on both? I was like, yeah, you're gonna have to do 2 different numbers. So that means 2 different licenses.
Mhm.
So he's like, okay.
Any comments? I know there's the thing that we had discussed about throwing in at the last minute. I'll make sure it gets added to the agenda next time. Great.
That was the sheriff. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Sean isn't here, so
Yeah,
it'd be better if he was here because he is a guy who really knows this topic.
so I'll email him.
Put it on the agenda for next time, sure. Yeah, he was asking, he's only, it was a request. Can we add it to the agenda? And if we can, we can.
I was gonna email Don, it's just normally you send out an email like Thursday or Friday and I just never saw it and
Yeah, no, it was a crazy week last.
prompted, so that's why I didn't get to add it.
Well, it's good that we could do it tonight anyway, because Sean's not here.
That's when I saw the agenda. I was like,
All right.
I'll go cook.
Motion to adjourn?
I. What do you? On the journey, 29.